welcome back to another video of the DevScourge platform. So, I'm Johan, I will be your host this afternoon, or evening, depends where you live. And in this video we are going to talk about SwiftuI. So, SwiftuI is a new Apple framework. It's used for building user interfaces with Swift. And the coolest thing about SwiftuI is it's actually cross-platform. So this means that it works on macOS, iOS, iPadOS, tvOS and watchOS. What this also means that it makes our jobs as developers easier, because we can actually build one application with different UIs, and each platform where you launch your application has its own specialized UI. So it's pretty cool. And in this video we are going to build our login UI. This is the same login UI we used in the storyboard tutorial, and I thought this would be a great example to build in SwiftuI. If you guys want to code alongside with me, inside the description of this video you will find the assets, you will find a zip file on the DevScourge CDN, and yeah, just open it and code alongside with me, and yeah, let's get started. So, welcome back in Xcode. I hope you guys opened your starter project. And here on the left side we actually have our app hierarchy. So here we find all the folders, all the assets, and all the files we need. We select the content view, and here on the left side we have our code editor, and in there we're actually gonna build all our code, and everything that we put in the content view is gonna be available over here inside the preview on the right side. As you can see, we have a content view and we have a content view preview system. So this struct actually takes care of the previewing. So everything that you put inside the content view is going to be almost real time shown inside of our preview on the right side. And here on the far right side we have our identity inspector, and we will talk a little bit about that as well. Okay, so let's get started with our design. When you work with SwiftuI, it's really easy to work with stacks. It's a little bit like a stack view you use in storyboards. And the coolest thing about working with stacks is that you can work with horizontal stacks, so that everything stacks horizontally. You can work with vertical stacks, so everything stacks vertically. And another one is the ZStack. And the ZStack actually allows you to put stacks over each other. So you can have like multiple stacks layering on top of each other, like in viewing perspective. So for example, we use a ZStack and a vertical stack. The ZStack can be the background, and a vertical stack is what you display on the background. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna delete this text, and we're gonna start with ZStack. And inside the ZStack we're gonna give this a background color of dark gray. And what we can do, we can use color of RGB, so red, green and blue, and we're gonna give this 22 of 255, 22 of 255, and the last is 24-255. Maybe you remember from UI color, you can actually call UI color to give it different colors. In SwiftuI we use the color attribute, and color attribute is a SwiftuI property that looks a little bit like UI color. Okay, pretty cool. On here on the right side you have like this resume button. When we click that, we will see that our ZStack actually now has a background, but we still have like the save areas on top, which we have to change. So under color we're gonna call dot edges ignoring save area dot all. So now even the save areas have the same background as the ZStack. Okay, so inside the ZStack we're gonna start with a VStack. And this is the vertical stack, so this means that everything that we put in there is going to be stacked under each other. So first thing we need is an image, and we're going to call image of string, and we're going to type here DevScourge. And the coolest thing about SwiftuI, you don't need an extension anymore, so you don't need to put like .png or .jpeg or which extension you use, just the name, because SwiftuI actually knows what it is. and because the image is the right size, so the size that I want, it's also really nice and centered. We don't need any setting up for that. So under the image, we're gonna give it a text. So we're gonna call text of string, and this one is gonna be dev scorch, everything in capital letters. 3.0 is now available. As you can see, we don't see the text because of the color. And that is the first thing we're going to change. So first thing we're going to do, dot foreground color of color, and this is also going to be red, green and blue. Oh, and the colors are 224-255. The green colors are 99-255, and the blue color is going to be 12-255. Pretty cool. Now we change the color. What we're also going to do, we're going to change the font size. So we're going to type dot font dot system of size, and this is going to be a size of 16. Pretty cool. And we're also going to give this a text alignment. So multi-line text alignment of dot center. And the reason we use this is, like, let's say you have like a really small screen, right? Like maybe iPod Touch, or maybe even smaller. With this, it makes sure that when the text needs 2 lines, the text stays centered in the middle. I think this looks better. And yeah, so now we are doing a great job. What we're also going to add is some padding. So we're going to type padding dot top. So we're going to add some padding on the top, and we're going to give this a value of 10. Yeah, this looks nice. So on the text, we're gonna write another text, and in here we're gonna give this a value of sign in, and we're gonna give this a color. So we need a foreground color of dot white. We're gonna change the font. So font dot system dot size. Oh, without the dot, sorry. So size, and we have a size of 26. We're gonna do dot font weight of dot bold. We're gonna give this a multi-line text alignment of dot center, and we're gonna give this some padding of dot top, comma, and the padding is going to be 15. So we have a little bit more space in between. Pretty cool. So till now we did a great job. We created an image, we created 2 different texts, we added some colors, the font size, the font weight, and text alignment and padding. And now we're actually going to start working with our text fields. So we're going to call text field, and this is going to be a username, and after the username we're going to open it up and we're going to call text of username. So text is a value of $username, and now we go on top. Above the var body we're going to create 2 state variables. So a state variable, that is a variable, and SwiftuI knows that it can store state variable everywhere inside of your application. So we're going to do add state var username of type string equals empty string, and we're going to do state var of password of type string equals empty string. Okay, we need a comma over here. Pretty cool. So now we're going to give the text field some width and a height. So when we look at the design, we need like 2 white text fields. So we're going to give this a frame of width of 300 and a height of 45. So when you call the dot frame property, you can actually assign a width and a height to your text fields. Under the frame, we're going to give the background color dot white. Coolest thing is we actually don't need to use other RGB colors here. We can just use the standard color property. And as you can see, my preview just crashed. Now it works. Okay. Just keep in mind, SwiftuI and Xcode are a little bit buggy sometimes. I'm running the latest normal Xcode version, and I have an Xcode beta running, and I have this problem in both of the cases. So inside there, we're gonna give this a text field style. So dot text field style, and we're gonna give this a style of rounded border text field style. Now you see it has some roundings around it, and after that we're gonna give this a font size. So font of font dot system size, and this is gonna be 16. Pretty cool. And we're also gonna, what I want actually the placeholder to be centered inside the text field as well. So we're gonna do dot multi text alignment dot center, and now we actually force the placeholder to be centered as well. Pretty cool. And let's give this some rounded corners, right? So we're gonna do corner radius of 22. Yes, this looks really nice. So we actually have like a really nice UI till now. And let's copy this text field, and we're gonna paste it under it as well. We're gonna change username here to password, and we're gonna change the $sign username to password as well. What you could do is actually create a separate text field struct or class, and then you add like all this information in it, and then you don't have to like copy and paste everything. You just call the function or the class. In this case, I'm not gonna. In this case, I just wanted to show you that we can copy it as well if you want to. Okay. And under here, we're gonna create a button. So, I'm gonna call button of action, and in here we're gonna call parentheses. And inside here we wanted to do something. So in this case, we're gonna give this a print of user is logging in, or logging in. Okay. So we go to this line. After the parentheses, we're gonna open a new one, and in here we're actually gonna style the button. So we're gonna call in text of type sign in, and under the text we're gonna call padding of 13. After that we're gonna call frame, so because we want to give it a width and a height again, right? So we're gonna give this a width of 250 and a height of 45. Then we're gonna give this a foreground color of dot white, and the foreground color is like the color from the text, right? So we're gonna give this a background color of red, green, and blue, and the colors are 102-255, and for green is 98-255, and last but not least for blue is 227-255. Okay, pretty cool. Okay, let's give this a corner radius of 22. Oh, we need the dot there. Don't forget the dots, really important. Okay. And we're gonna give this a font size dot font dot custom, no, we're not going to do that, dot system size, and we're going to give this a size of 15. Right, maybe a little bit, no, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to escape the text. Let's see how this looks. This looks really nice. So we're going to escape the text, and we're going to check where the button is escaping. So that's this one, okay. So under here, we're going to create a new button of action, parentheses, and inside here, print of string, and we're going to call this sign up, okay. And we escape this one, and we're going to create new parentheses, and in here we're going to give it another text, and we call this sign in. We're going to give this a foreground color of dot white, and we're going to give this some padding, dot top of 15. Yes. Okay, so now we created actually two buttons. Sign in button, maybe we can give the sign in button a little bit padding on top, right? So we're gonna add, oh wait a second, we have to add it under here. So we're gonna add some dot padding, dot top, comma 20. Yes, pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna escape this button as well. That's here, and under there we're gonna create text, and this text is gonna be our footer, so our information that if they log in, that if they sign in, that they agree to our user agreement. So if you sign in, you will agree with our user agreement. Pretty cool. We're gonna give this a foreground color of dot white. Okay. We're gonna give this a multi-text align of dot center. We're gonna give this a font dot system size of maybe 15. Maybe a little bit smaller, maybe 13. Yes, perfect. Okay, this looks really great. Let's see. I want to show you one more thing. As you can see here, we have like font. Here the foreground color we can call dot white, and in the background we actually called color dot white. It's both the same, so you can do both ways. If you don't want to do too much coding, you can leave the color away. This is just something I did automatically, so don't worry about it. And as you can see now, we have like our design, but it doesn't look really nice. So there is one thing that we have in SwiftuI, and it's called a spacer. So a spacer actually fills up empty space. So above the text here, we're gonna add a spacer. As you can see now, we have like a lot of space here. And we're also gonna add a spacer on top of the VStack. So above the image, we're gonna call spacer. Boom. And now we have like a really nice UI, and this looks really nice on this iPhone 12 mini. Let's see how this looks on maybe an iPod or maybe an iPhone SE. Preview can take some time. Okay, so as you can see, the preview loaded as well, and this is actually our design on the iPhone SE. As you can see, it looks really great. We actually created a really easy and a really nice user interface in SwiftuI, and as you can see, it's like really easy to get this to work on multiple screen sizes. So I think this is going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you really liked it, you want to see more content like this, so make sure to subscribe. Help me to grow this channel. And yeah, if you have any ideas or you want to learn something, or you say like, hey, maybe make a video about this, let me know, and I will surely do that. Also make sure to check out my website devscoach.com for the written tutorials, and I see you next time. Thank you for watching.